What is up, everybody? If you don't know me already, my name is Roger, and on my channel we build cars. For example, 510. I don't have a lot of content on this, but for the winter break, the car season's over, so we're gonna be tearing this down. We're gonna be doing some stuff, modifying it. Nothing too crazy, but this is gonna get more show on the channel. But for today, we're gonna be working on the 240 that's in the back. Today we are putting on Radium parts. It's right there. We're gonna be putting on a fuel rail, ID Injector Dynamic injectors. That is Injector Dynamic injectors. These are the 1050 cc's, plugs, whatever. Fuel rail, I have it still packaged up. Ooh, that's bad for the lighting. But yeah, let's get right into it. Just a quick little summary for the new people, because I'm assuming when I put RB stuff, it's gonna be a lot more newer, because when you look up DATSUN, this is what you expect. You don't expect a Skyline motor in it. But yeah, I have an RB25 in my DATSUN 240Z 1972, so it's smog exempt. We're in California, so that's a good thing. But yeah, let's get into it. So let's get started with the injectors. I got the Injector Dynamic 1050 cc. Where is it? Right here, IDX 1050. Nice. So, get into the unboxing of it. It is an RB, so it's an inline 6, so that means 6 injectors. My horsepower goal is going to be around 400 to 500, so this is kind of like overkill. It's not super overkill, but this is what I was recommended. This is what I'm going with. This is rated more towards like 800 horsepower, I'm pretty sure, but I mean, I'm not going to be anywhere close to the max duty cycle, pushing my 500, so this is more than enough for me. Sticker. This is the rail here. This is the rail here. It's all packaged up. Oh. Fancy schmancy. Injectors go down here. You got 3 mounting points, 1, 2, 3. The ends, I already have a lot of the fuel system. The only thing I literally had left was the fuel rail and the injectors. My plan was to just not max out, but like go to 80% duty cycle of the stock injectors on my setup right now. But I talked to my tuner and he convinced me just to upgrade the, you can't really see me. He convinced me just to upgrade the system, the rest of the system, let's say, because I do have a fuel pump, I have a fuel pressure regulator, and I have a standalone ECU, so might as well just fix the rest of the fuel system, because I just wanted to do something simple like 280, 300 horsepower. But he told me with how big my turbo is, it's gonna be way too laggy. I think, let me just take you to the car. Let me just show y'all. Alright, we are here having a conversation and looking at the car. So, here's a motor setup, Series 1 RB25, Freddy manifold, Precision 6266 turbo. So, I was talking to him, he told me even if we turn up the duty cycle on the injectors, turn up the boost, it's just gonna not drive right. It'll be drivable, but it's like it'll be super laggy because of how big the turbo is and how it's not putting its power down. So I'd probably be hitting like some boost at like 5,000 RPMs, maybe higher. But we're upgrading the fuel system, the rest of the fuel system, and that's what we're getting into today. So let's cut the talking and just get to work. So this is about the best angle I can give y'all. It's a 240Z, so the hood opens forward instead of backwards like in every other car. But yeah, you guys get a good view. So we're gonna start off. You're gonna want to get cup, towels, blah blah blah, because everything is pressurized. The car's been sitting for a while, so I'm just gonna assume that it's not as pressurized as before. It's been sitting for quite a while. So that's why I have the cup, just in case gas spills. if you're trying to put on an aftermarket fuel rail, fuel injectors, whenever touching your fuel lines, you want to crank the car but not start it. So you're going to pull off the cam angle sensor plug and just crank it until it just gets rid of all the fuel that's in there. But yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to start off by taking off the pigtails. We're going to start off by taking off the fuel lines. Now that the pigtails are off, we're going to hit the fuel lines, and then after the fuel lines, we're going to take out the 3 bolts that are here. And for those wondering, I'm converting to top feed fuel rail just because it fits better on the Freddy manifolds, these forward facing plenums, just because these are very close. Like, look how close look how close the injectors are to touching. They all seat well, it doesn't leak. But for me personally, since I'm already going to be doing the bigger injectors, there's a lot more options top feed than there is side feed. You could always get like the Nismos and all that, but I wanted the 1050s. And I think Nismos are 555 and 750, something like that. Don't quote me. And they're just super expensive. So this is what I'm doing. And this is what I picked, and that's why I picked it. Throwing rags underneath anything that I pull off. Like I said, the car's been sitting, so I can just literally pull them right off. This one that's on the free roll might have some fuel, so we'll find out. Luckily, you guys are behind the camera. I'm the one that's picking up the mess, so. I'm going to be taking off my throttle cable too, might as well just make it easy on me. Cool. Now that everything's out of the way, I can dig into this old fuel rail and we'll just start taking off. So now that all the lines are done, the only thing holding on this fuel rail is going to be these 3 nuts here. So nice. Alright, I dropped one of the nuts, but they don't matter anymore. But now that I'm thinking about it, I have a pretty positive negative feeling that my throttle cable holder is going to hit my new fuel rail. So I found the solution. I might have made another problem in the process, but either way, this shit was not happening. Look how fucking long it is. It was so inconvenient where it was. So throttle cable went through this. My fuel rail literally sat probably half an inch above this, so there was no way I could have this on with having my fuel rail on. I bent it, it literally flexed maybe like not even a quarter inch, and I was like, no, there's no way. Flexed a little bit, and I already knew I was pushing it, and bang, came right off. This is how it is now. There's a lot more space. So let's get the fuel rail mounted up. Yeah, get ready. Oh, I learned the hard way that, gasoline, I didn't really use my head in chemistry. Gasoline and plastic doesn't go together. Now y'all know, don't do that, don't make fun of me. I just came from work, I'm tired, I'm trying to get this done. So, less talking, more action, let's get into it. Right, up next is the radium fittings. So, get your green fitting, put the O-ring in, make sure you lubricate it. You can use, I've seen people say gas, I'm using engine oil. You can use engine oil, and you can use some fuel injector silicone. I had engine oil, so I use it, put it on, line it up, just presses in. Just make sure it's seated in fully, and that's what you get. Now I have to do 4 more, 6 in total. The fittings are all right here. Sorry, I have engine oil all over me. Yeah, just make sure you're making them nice and lubricated, putting them all in. You can do the same thing with the injectors, same thing with the ends on the fuel rail and the 2 plugs that go on the bottom. Make sure it's all lubricated. And that right there is how they all look. They're all seated in. I gave them all a little tap with the rubber mallet, so make sure everything's nice and seated, make sure everything's nice and flush. Wipe the top down so there's not engine oil everywhere. And next up is the injectors. I'm gonna put the injectors in. Same thing, you're gonna lube the bottom of the injector. Let me grab one. You're going to lube the 2 O-rings, top O-ring, bottom O-ring. You're gonna face them this way so you can get your pigtails in. Make sure they're seated very evenly and make sure they're in there. My bad, facing up this way. Just like that. Super easy process. I mean, of course, I have hiccups every single time I do an installation, but it's so great. Let me give you an example. Look. See? Fitted. Blocked off right here, right? Wait. Wow, I wasn't sent another plug. So now I have an open hole on my fuel rail where all the fuel is going to come out of. So we're going to have to wait. Either way, I mean, I'm getting fuel lines, so it's not like I was going to turn on the car right now. So I'm not really tripping about it, but like, you want stuff to be done right the first time, not the 7th time. So that's where I'm at this point. And just the same process all over again. Take your little cap off, dip my finger in the engine oil, then literally just gonna go around the O-ring. So you're nice and snug. This is going to be the positioning for the injectors, for the pigtails. Fuel rail's going to sit right on top. I'm going to finish them up. I'm going to grab the fuel rail. I'm going to explain how the fuel rail fittings work. I'm going to explain my way of how I'm doing it. Everybody has their own way of running their fuel rail and their fuel system setup. Now that it's all done, this is how they all came out to be. Front view. Gonna want to make sure they're all snug and put in properly, face them all the right way, make it easy on yourself for later so you can just literally plop on the fuel rail. Man, shout out to Australians. They know how to make good stuff. This thing is solid. It ain't cheap like the eBay stuff, I'll tell you that for sure, and it's good. But yeah, this is it here. I made sure to make them all snug from each. So there's 3. I made them snug from the sides and snug from the middle. You don't want to tighten them all down one side and all down the other side. You just want to make them fit nicely. And then you're going to want to start obviously tightening back and forth until they're all pushed down so it's a nice, even, snug fit. And I mean, I connected this line right here. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to end up rerouting this line to the back because it's going to go over here. And that's how I'm going to do my fuel rail. I'm going to have a fuel filter back by the tank and then maybe one down here, so I'm going to have 2. I have an in-tank 340 Phantom at the aeromotive pump, so that's what's going to be feeding these beast of injectors. I'm going to end up, if anything, honestly, I'm going to end up converting to the AN braided fuel lines. Right now this is one side is AN, but the rubber and the previous owner, I don't like how he did everything. He set up stuff very like half-assed. So I'm gonna have to recreate this fuel system especially the in tank later on. I don't want to go fuel cell because I don't want this car to be some monstrous beast. Like, I know it's already pretty crazy how my setup is. Not insane, but I mean, it's up there for a car from the 70s. But for right now, this is how it looks. This is the setup I'm going with. I'm pleased with it. The wiring is literally just taking out the pins, putting them, repinning them, and then putting them where they belong. But yeah, let me give you a good look from the front. Oh, it's gonna drop everything. This is how she looks, nice and clean. Aerial view cleans that up nicely. I'm probably gonna get that manifold powder coated. I'm gonna get that thing cleaned up because after she's nice and done and she's running, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do a very big overhaul on just making stuff look good, making stuff functional. We're gonna get turbo blankets, we're gonna get everything wrapped. Maybe I might get the header ceramic coated, do some little upgrades here and there, and get all the fancy stuff. But for now, this is how she looks. I like it, I'm pleased. It really cleaned up the old setup. Obviously it's not fully tied together, but this is what it's gonna look like. None of this garbage. I don't know if I'm gonna sell this. If you're interested, hit me up on Instagram. I'll plop my Instagram right here. Ignore the background. I'll plop my Instagram up here. You can hit me up. If I decide to sell it, I'll sell it. These are stock injectors, under 60,000 miles. I don't know if they were rebuilt, cleaned. I always recommend, if you're gonna buy used injectors, get them clean, get them refreshed, new O-rings. You might as well do it. Oh, and I wanted to explain the setup because I know people do different setups. Obviously, I have my fuel pressure regulator, mounted onto my firewall, but you can get one that gets mounted to the end here, the end over there. The fuel dampeners, you can put them right here where I'm touching. They're there so there's no pulsing, because sometimes your fuel pulses like this. So the fuel dampener makes sure that it's consistent and flowing, and all the injectors are getting 100% of the fuel all the time. Say without the fuel dampener, you might drop a little. I don't know the science between that. I'm not a scientist. I just modify cars. So that completes the installation. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing these installation videos. I feel like I want to do more like vlog style. I like the way that Eliminated does it. I like the way that TJ Hunt does it. Dustin Williams, where it's kind of like more straightforward of like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what's gonna get done, gets it done, and puts it on. If you guys want to see in-depth detail, like this is how you do everything, you get this piece, that piece, let me know. Comment that down below, and I'll continue it. I don't mind it, but I feel like I want more fun vibes, like more vlog style, like, oh, this is what we're doing today, blah blah blah. Talk to the camera more face to face rather than like, oh, this is my hands putting stuff together. But yeah, I mean, there's gonna be more to come. Car season's pretty much over, at least for us older cars, because the rain and all that. That car leaks water through the old windshield gaskets, so obviously I'm not gonna use them. I'm not gonna use that car in the rain. But yeah, that's it. Go ahead and make sure follow my Instagram. I'll pop it up here. At some point, I do want to do a Q&A. I'm going to be asking you guys to ask me questions on Instagram, and I'm going to bring that to YouTube instead of keeping it on Instagram, because I just want my YouTube following to be more connected to me. I feel like I post a lot of stuff on Instagram. I'm always posting, let me see. I'm always posting cars and coffees there. I'm always posting meats. I'm always posting my cars. I'm posting whatever I'm doing, what's up next on Instagram. And obviously, if you don't follow me, you're not going to get any of that content. So hey, make sure to follow. Put it again. I'll zoom in on the name this time. Look, 240RBZ. So make sure to follow that. You will get a lot more content, a lot more fun stuff. I'll be doing probably a Q&A. I don't know if I'm going to do it now. Maybe once I hit 500. We're almost at 400. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Keep hitting that like button. Keep subbing. I see some of y'all aren't subscribed. There's a good majority of y'all. So if you're watching these videos, like I said, I'm going to keep putting all these installation videos, all these other things. My homie has a Skyline. My homies have Infinities. Corollas, Datsuns, just anything. They even got a KA on this channel. This is S Chassis Boys right here. So, thank you guys so much for supporting me. Make sure to drop that like, make sure to hit that sub, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you like, what you want differently. If you want to see KA, want to see L20B stuff. Hey, we can also throw some L28 stuff. I forgot, there's the other 260Ds there. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. You guys are awesome. Till next time, peace out. These outros and intros take so long. I have to get used to being the face of the camera because I'm used to my hands being the face. These guys can talk to you, but not me.